Hey everybody, it's Lone Camper. Today I'm going to show you how to repair your fiberglass exterior. So things you'll need are gloves, some sort of eye protection, long sleeve shirt, towels to catch light drip and wipe off any uh, you know dust, scissors, something to stir, and a fiberglass kit. The one I am using is from, you can just get it at your local Walmart. I think it's like Bonco or something. No, excuse me, Bonda Fiberglass Repair Kit at Walmart. So, first things first, you're going to want to sand the area you're applying this to. Just a light sanding. I used a belt sander just to get it done quicker because I'm on a time schedule. I was in between classes for school. But I would recommend something a little lighter, like a orbital, or yeah, just an orbital or one of the vibrating ones. Yeah. For grit, you just need to rough up the surface. It doesn't have to be anything uh, crazy or insane, or not rub off the surface. You're trying to get the paint off, but so it doesn't need to be super fine or super rough. Somewhere in the middle. So once you do that, you want to make sure to sand about 1 to 2 inches around or beyond the area you're working. And so from there, for the one I'm showing in this video, I had a huge crack, so it took me like, I think, 10 layers of that fiberglass cloth. I'll show you. It'll come up here in a second. But, you just want to get it above the rest of the RV wall and sand it back down and paint over it. But what I was getting at is, yeah, just sand around it, get it level, and then for the Walmart kit I was using, I had to mix 8 ounces of fiberglass epoxy with 10 droplets of the hardener. I would recommend getting a measuring cup. I didn't have one. I just kind of did it by sight. It still worked, but it would be a lot easier if I had some sort of way to measure it. And of course, I know I could get a measuring cup, but whatever. I just kind of said, fuck it. But yeah, and before you ever mix it, I would recommend like cutting out all your cloth strips. Uh, cutting all your cloth strips, getting everything sanded before mixing. Because the one I was using, the pot life, so how long you can work with it is only 12 minutes before it starts to harden. So, that's a very short window. So I would get everything ready beforehand, get everything sanded, like I said, get everything cut, and then have all your gear on, your safety gear to do that. A bigger scraper, you'll see here in the video, I'll dip the cloth in the epoxy and hardener mixture, put it on the wall, and then use this scraper to kind of get all that excess epoxy around the rest of the fiberglass cloth and kind of even it out, flatten it out as much as possible. I was using a pretty small one. I would recommend getting a bigger scraper, nothing more than like 3-4 inches wide. That should be more than enough. I was using more like probably an inch. And I will say fumes are pretty strong with this, so definitely wear some sort of mask, like good mask, not the COVID. I need to go to Walmart mask, like an actual gas mask. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, once you get on there, I wouldn't put more than like 3 or 4 layers of the cloth on at a time, or it just, I found that it just tends to dry funky, not look as good. It gets really hard to work with too. Really hard to work with because there's underlying layers that are trying to move while you're trying to move the top layer. It just gets a mess. So no more than 3 or 4 at a time. And then obviously wait for it to dry. And if you need to put more cloth strips on it, like I did, because mine was uh, pretty tore up, then you just sand it again. Obviously, wipe off any dust and clean the area before you reapply again, and just keep repeating until the crack is sealed, and I'd say it has a couple of cloth strips above the crack. You know, like your repair is sitting above the rest of the wall, if that makes sense. Um, and then you can sand it down, paint over it and whatnot, make it look good as new. So what's next? Well, I have now finished the wall. I know I haven't shown it on YouTube, but I have finished the side walls I've been working on for months now. And I am going to go to the roof. I've got it pretty much all taken off. I just need to do a few more touch ups. Clean off a few more areas, scrape off a little bit more wood, just so when I go to lay the roof down, it's a little bit easier for me to lay it down and start screwing into the frame. Um, but yeah, that's what's next. And yeah, that wraps this up. Uh, thanks. Bye, everybody.